Hello and welcome here to the Daily Quest episode number 29. My name is Solid Jake and today we are talking about Thrall. Now Thrall, the war chief of the Horde, has been an iconic hero for Warcraft in general for a very long time, really since Warcraft was a thing. He entered Heroes of the Storm as a rather overpowered melee assassin, and especially when he was at BlizzCon last year, not this previous BlizzCon, but 2014, he was absolutely and utterly ridiculous. Some changes were made. He lost battle momentum. It was all about a Wind Fury build, and he kind of got nerfed into the ground. And then he just stopped seeing play altogether. Fast forward to the near present, he started to see a little bit of play here and there. We saw players trying to make him work with, stun-oriented compositions. Thrall's great for rotations. You get Thrall Tyrande, it's a very good pairing. Thrall Uther is very good as well. But, he still wasn't really all that great. And then now we go to the actual present, post-scaling changes, and Thrall just hits like a truck in the early game, and he's starting to see more and more play in competitive. But it's really interesting seeing the builds be felt out, right? Because Thrall, as a competitive hero, is still kind of, I feel like he's still being felt out in a lot of ways. But today we're going to take a look at two different builds that we've seen in recent tournaments, and we're going to look at the replays from those two tournaments. Enter the Storm, both America and Europe. It's pretty much the only real tournament that's happening right now that has accessibility for their replays, which is why we pretty much cover replays from that series every single day. Hello, cat. Would you like to say hello? Come here. Come here. Maybe the cat will come say hi. She is being shy right now. Anyways, so Thrall, like I said, is definitely a really powerful melee assassin. He's one of the, as far as I can think of, one of the only melee assassins that has a root. Of course, Kerrigan has stuns, but he's the only one with a root. And that root is really crucial to his success. He also has great self-sustainability, and there's different talents that can amplify that even further. Let's actually just take a look at the hero here. So Thrall's got a pretty unique kit. He's a shaman, and if you know anything about shamans, they often have heals. That's why we have Rhaegar. He's also a shaman. They have elemental abilities, chain lightning, for instance, in this case, and they, a lot of the times they're in your face, empowering their weapons with magic. And Thrall is kind of that. He got a little bit of everything. He is a ridiculously powerful hero when it comes to lore. So he does have the best of everything. He's got the self heal. He's got the magic. He's got the in your face with Wind Fury. So chain lightning. It's this is your poke you can whittle down. And the big part of this ability that's very useful is just to get your self heal off your trait every time 5 abilities connect. Basically, it says at 5 stacks, so it's 5 abilities. Wind Fury counts as 3 from 3 melee attacks. You will be able to do some self-healing. And this is something that you can really take advantage of. You can try to wait to have that self-heal before you initiate. Like, say you have 4 stacks, then you dive in for the initiation. That can be really good. Delay on sounds, War Chicken. I'm not sure what that could mean. Anyways, I'm going to continue on. Oh, we got that music playing. Nice. He's got the Feral Spirit, like we said. This is his wolf. This is how he closes the gap. It's a root. Wind Fury, that's the bulk of his damage. Sundering, great for just disrupting your opponents. This is the go-to heroic for Thrall. And then Earthquake. Earthquake, we don't see too much. There's been a lot of theory crafting in the past, but it never really seems to have the same effect as Sundering. Sundering is a massive 1.5 second AoE stun that can just flat out win fights. And it's one of those heroics that's so powerful that it almost justifies the hero in itself. So yeah, that's the breakdown for Thrall, but let's look at the two builds that we're going to be checking out today. Now, I labeled them mid-range Thrall and auto-attack Thrall because at the core of everything, that is pretty much what it comes down to. For mid-range Thrall, well, let's just look at the level 1 talents. You have block as an option. If you're really worried about those auto-attacks, you want a little bit more sustained, try to play a little bit more of a tanky Thrall, you could consider block. But Rolling Thunder is just going to give you safer poke, and this is why this is mid-range. This is a lot of in your face, and then it's got a lot of range as well. So Rolling Thunder, that increases your range of your chain of lightning by 30%, and attacking enemies recently hit by Chain Lightning restores mana. So Thrall is a hero that actually does have a fair bit of trouble when it comes to mana. He runs out of mana rather quickly, and in the instance that you're sitting around clearing your wave, you want to throw this Chain Lightning out, and then you want to run to the minions that are hit by the Chain Lightning and hit them with your auto attacks to restore as much mana as you can. This is really about, it's not so much about the range, although it's nice to have when it comes to picking someone off or poking in a lot of fights, because Thrall doesn't want to be the first one to dive into the fight. He kind of wants to wait for his moment. Chain Lightning just lends itself very nicely in both accounts. For the auto attack Thrall build, you would be going for Seasoned Marksman. This is, again, just going to empower your auto attacks. Great for the late game, especially for those larger battlegrounds where you expect to go towards the 20-minute mark, if not later, because then Thrall will be hitting like a truck. Going to level 4, we notice we have Envenom on both sides. And why is that? And Thrall is very much a get in your face and kill you as quick as possible hero. That's what he wants to do. He wants to dive in and he wants to blow up a target. And that is his mission in every single instance in which he engages. And Envenom only amplifies his ability to do that. And it's pretty much just the go-to 100% of the time. Now, we talked about mana return. Rolling Thunder is going to your level 1 talent for the more sustained build. That is far better than going for Mana Tide. Like the Frostwolf Resilient also restores 15 mana. That's far less efficient than being able to auto attack heroes and restore 10 mana from minions that have been recently hit. So honestly, is it worth going for Mana Tide? I just think you're going to get more value and you get the increased range with Rolling Thunder. And obviously these players that we're going to be looking at today feel the same way. Spirit Journey is a really cool talent, and this is one that I would consider getting over Envenom. This is the one at this tier that I think might be worth considering because it's a 50% increased range on your Wolf, and your Wolf is a stun. So if you consider your composition having maybe another Tyrande, say that you have a Tyrande that has Lunar Blaze at level 7. That's some incredible range for lockdown. So you throw out the Sundering, you disrupt the team, and suddenly super long cast on your Wolf and super long cast on your Lunar Flare, or it can be very, very useful in a lot of situations. And it is definitely worth considering as an option based on your composition and based on what you're up against. If you know there's just one hero that you want to find that's flanking a lot, like a Nova, that you think you can pick her off if you have that additional range or something, give it a shot. But otherwise, Envenom's just going to make you more effective when it comes to blowing up that single target. So it is the go-to option most of the time. For the auto attack build, we're actually going to get a little bit of additional burst with follow through. Follow through, it's a generic talent, but it's 40% additional damage for your next basic attack after your next ability cast. And when you're casting Wind Fury, when you're casting Chain Lightning, when you're casting your Wolf, like you're going to be doing a lot more damage. So this is like the auto attack Thrall is the ultimate commit and blow them up style. But on the opposite side, we can look at Wind Shear as a pretty good option. Now, in the past, Thralls would actually get Wind Shear paired with Battle Momentum, and they'd basically have permanent Wind Fury, and it was quite ridiculous. But present day, that's not possible. It doesn't have Battle Momentum anymore, and Wind Shear has been moved to 7. So just having a 4-second cooldown reduction on your Wind Fury is still pretty big, because it's going to let you, it's a little bit more sustained, right? This is mid-range. This Thrall has a little bit more to give. He can stay in the fight a little bit longer. It's just that he's not doing as much burst, but he's doing more sustained damage, and his mana pool isn't depleting quite as quickly. And that's why this is more for the drawn out fights, and it works out in that manner. And it's a very good talent for this style of play if you're going for that. But the auto attack style is more about just getting in there and killing that target as fast as humanly possible. And, well, that's why we have different styles of play. Going to the heroics, we talked about this. Sundering is just like a must. It's a 1.5 second AoE stun that travels out in a massive path, and it can just set you up for not only big saves, but huge initiations for your team, where you then flank and disrupt, like just get half the side, the left side of the Sundering, find 2 members that have been secluded and blow them up. Earthquake hasn't really seen the light of day. There's potential for it. It's a fun heroic, but it doesn't have that same kind of wow factor to it. So just stick to Sundering for now. Level 13, Grace of Air. This is a really, really strong talent where you're going to get double the heal. So we look back to level 7, where we picked up the Wind Shear. Wind Shear is going to make it so that you can cast Wind Fury more frequently. Well, if you're looking to have these longer drawn-out fights where you want to have a little bit more sustain, not only in mana, Grace of Air is going to give you more health. More healing, rather. Wind Fury grants double stacks of Frostwolf Resilience, so that's a full heal is 5 stacks. So Wind Fury is 3 auto attacks. Double? What is that? That's 6 auto attacks. So that means you're going to get a double heal. You're basically going to get a full heal and then some, and then you cast Chain Lightning, and then you get a second heal. So that's basically, it can be close to an immediate double heal onto Thrall with his trait. And it's really powerful just keeping him alive in the front line. For the auto attack style, you want to really just stick to that auto attack damage, and Giant Killer amplifies that even further. Definitely go for Giant Killer in this instance if you're going for the auto attack style. But if the enemy team has like Nova Kael'thas, multiple mages, huge threat to you, and you've been struggling against the mages in general, or it's just a Nova that has like 14 stacks of gathering power with triple tap, and she is just one-shotting you with her heroic, go for Spell Shield. It's always worth considering Spell Shield as a strong option, especially when you're up against heroes that are all about ability power. Restless Wolves, that's the fourth, or I guess in this case, the first talent here on the list. It's really just a cooldown reduction if your wolf hits a hero. So if you want to try to be more of a CC bot Thrall, it definitely can work. It can be very powerful. This reduces your cooldown. If you imagine Thrall Rexar with like a Misha charge type build where Misha's just stunning left and right, and then you're throwing out wolves left and right. It's bears, wolves, oh my, the stuns and roots there for days. It can be very frustrating to fight against a style like that, and it's definitely got a fair strength to it. But generally speaking, Grace of Air or Giant Killer or Spell Shield will be the talent options you want to go for. Looking at level 16, what do we got here? Well, we've got actually, like 16 tends to be really strong. In the past, we saw players tinkering with Chain Lightning builds and they'd go for Fork Lightning at this point, but it really just doesn't have that same kind of impact. The damage it's negligible, and it's more about the sustain, and the other talents we already talked about are just more efficient for sustain, and so is Blood for Blood. You'd be better off going for Blood for Blood rather than Forked Lightning if that's really what you're trying to accomplish. The other talents here, Tempest, Fury. Wind Fury's final strike hits 3 times. Ow. Yes, we already talked about, all these other talents that work with Wind Fury. Well, Tempest Fury makes this rather OP because then we're getting even more Frostwolf Resilient stacks when it comes to Grace of Air, because Wind Fury grants twice as many attacks. So now you have 3 for your final strike. Like, that's pretty good, guys. That's actually pretty good. So that's a must get when it comes to this first build, the mid-range Thrall build. But for the auto attack assassin build, it pretty much is a must get too, just because of how good of a talent is. Now, Ride the Wind increases Wind Fury's move speed and extends the duration on attack. Is like cool if you want to be like that guy that's just gonna chase Lunara around all day and you want that additional movement speed. You probably want this talent before level 16 anyways. So I don't know how much this is going to help you accomplish. Thrall already has an additional movement speed from Wind Fury. Getting an additional 10% move speed is cool, but is it worth grabbing it? Probably not. Tempest Fury, just a little bit too good to pass up. You should generally go for this 100% of the time. Blood for Blood in rare instances when you're faced multiple high health pool heroes and you need the sustain. If you're solo queuing and you have no support and you just need a little bit more sustain, maybe Blood for Blood makes more sense here. But even then, Tempest Fury is going to give you so much self-sustain paired with Grace of Air and Wind Shear. It's just, you're going to be in their face so much, doing so much damage and healing yourself plentifully. All right, looking at 20. Mid-range Thrall, he's going to be casting Wind Fury a lot. He's going to be doing a lot of damage, and you want to do even more damage. And we already talked about closing the gap. Well, Nexus Blades is going to slow them and deal additional damage. It's the best of both worlds, so just go for Nexus Blades. The upgrade on Sundering is kind of crappy. I wish they would replace World Breaker. It's really not that interesting. Make World Breaker summon like little trogs or something out of the Sundering that you just opened in the world and do something different. I don't know, because the global Sundering, it's more for the funny factor. It's really not that good of a heroic upgrade, Storm Talent in this case. Earth and Shields, if you did go for Earthquake, Earth and Shields is actually really awesome. It's a super fun heroic ability, and it seems rather overpowered, but you're grabbing a bad heroic to have a good Storm Talent. And Bolt of the Storm. I mean, when you're going this more blow them up style, you don't have the same kind of sustainability. You don't have the same kind of you're not going to be able to live for a long period of time in these fights. So oftentimes you're going to want to be able to bolt out of there. It's also good for closing the gap too. You can just bolt onto the target, blow them up very quickly, and then job's done. Job's done. But Bolt probably better for the blow-up style, the auto-attack Thrall, but mid-range Thrall, you just want that more sustained. Nexus Blades is going to give you that effectiveness. So these are the two styles of Thrall that we saw played in the last couple of weeks in Enter the Storm, America and Europe. We're going to be taking a look at replays from each of those events respectively, and my webcam is lagging. Oh, I do not know what is up with that. Let's give it that refresh. Oh, refresh. Do I break it? Oh, goodness. Tragic. I think I can fix this, guys. Bear with me. The black screen of death. The black screen of death. This is one of the things I pay for not using a normal webcam. I use a camera into an HDMI capture card slot. Wait. Final button to click. Oh, did I do it? Please? Oh, yes. It has been fixed. Nice. I wish I had coffee, but I drank it all. Cat? You guys want to see the cat? I don't have the cat cam ready. I'm sorry. I'm the worst. All right, without further delay, let's actually get on. I'm going to show you the cat. Urgh, you tried to run. Hello, cat. Let's watch some video games. Booting up those replays. The first replay is actually going to be between Sandwich Monkey, again, the new squad here in EU, versus Fanatic. And Fnatic, they just came off a win at DreamHack just a few weeks ago. And this is that new squad featuring, we've got, I think it's Sport Billy, ADRD, BKB, I believe Snow, and I'm forgetting one member. Oh, God, but Monkey Sandwich Monkey, whatever they call themselves. Their acronym is TSAM. They've really been taking the scene by storm just recently with their new squad. Snow, ADRD, Shiter, BKB, and I don't know why I giggle at that, and Sport Billy. And of course, they are up against Breeze, Smexitile, Wubby, Quacknix, and Melee. That is Fnatic. Where's my sound, team? Sound enabled. Blizz, please. Let's go to sound. It's enabled. Why is it undo? No, it should be. There should be sound. Well, the world hates me. There's absolutely no sound. It says it's enabled, disabled, enabled. Oh! It just needed to catch up. We did it, boys. We did it. All right, let's load up the proper UI. Oh, did I fix it? Now, I updated this again, so maybe the experience can be seen now. Just made some slight adjustments. It's not perfect, but the UI will continue to evolve over the next few weeks as I explore with it. Looking at the level 1 talents, pulling up this big, fat UI at the bottom. We see our Thrall is going for Seasoned Marksman, so this is going to be very much the auto-attack style here on the right. Remember that build, boom, bam, got it, great, because that is what we are going to see here in this game. Tunes are a little loud, so we'll adjust that accordingly. And this is Dragonshire. So Dragonshire is a map where it's all about rotations. You see these two teams already rotating as 4 to not only clean up the waves quickly, provide a threat on their opponents with, you've got Condemn, you've got Luna Flare, and you've got the slows and big damage from Jaina. But one thing that I find really interesting here is the fact that Thrall is solo laning. Oftentimes when you get Seasoned Marksman, this is something that's you're really going to benefit from in these rotation situations. They're soaking 2 lanes of minions, and those 2 lanes of minions can give you that many more auto attacks. But they're just kind of saying, you know what, Thrall is going to be able to solo lane very efficiently versus Zagara. They're respecting the threat that Zagara actually does present as a solo laner, and they're going to utilize Thrall in this fight against him. Just the poke from the wolves and the self-sustaining as from his auto attacks will make him a rather powerful solo laner in this case, and it's definitely the right call in this instance. Rotations continuing back and forth. Nothing really exciting happening, but the shrines are now available. Definitely going to be in favor here of our blue team Fnatic taking this first top shrine versus Sandwich Monkeys. And Snow's just being very cautious, pacing around, throwing out the chain lightning, running away from the Hydralisk, you know, as you should. You don't want to take any unnecessary damage, even if you have the self-sustain. Quacknix is waiting in this bush. They have all this creep spread. Like, this creep spread is absolutely beautiful by Wubby, controlling so much space, but the rotations are continuing to happen. We see Leoric just marching away with his little ghost form to get to safety, and the lanes are just being cleared up like nothing as the red team just rotates back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Problem being is, even though they're controlling the rotations in the two lanes, they're not really doing a good job controlling the towers. Two members in the bottom lane were able to grab that bottom tower. Looks like they're going to try to put some extra presence here in the top. They're pinging. No, it looks like it's Murden diving in here. Quacknix and Wubby want that kill on Snow if at all possible. Bottom lane has been taken over by ADRD, Shiter, and Sport Billy, so they regain some control here in the bottom. Looking at level 4, Envenom was now picked up, so Snow could look to start to get a little bit more aggressive. Now that level 4 has been reached, this is when Thrall gets a small power spike, especially in early game. With all of his damage combined, plus an Envenom thrown on top of it, his kit is like devastatingly strong. But Wubby is well aware of this. Wubby's got this full creep spread. She just keeping a safe pace. The minions do as much as possible, and mainly just summoning minions. You see that the ammo is now gone. That's when Wubby first steps in. But knowing that there might be potential rotation, actually even spotting BKB with his creep spread, he just backs up and more creep spread, keeping that on cooldown as often as possible. Beautiful performance by Wubby on Zagara so far. Bottom lane, Jaina does go down. The rotation was beautiful. Mene getting very low himself, but he's gonna fly to safety, barely getting out of there over his wall. Beautifully done, utilizing that presence. Tap the well. The Sentinel will not be enough for the kill. Quacknix in the front line. He gets the Stormbolt off onto ADRD, but the shield sustained pretty much all of that damage. Breeze looking for someone on Leoric, but not going to find anything. Thrall getting a little bit more bold, trying to force Zagara out, but this is still such a hard lane. Really, and it comes to early game, Chen is one of the only heroes that can give Zagara a run for her money. Maybe Sylvanas when it comes to lane pressure, because of how ridiculously strong she is. She's got all of this creep spread. Oh, nice juke there by Wubby. Sport Belly looking for the Lunar Flare. That would have been lights out for Wubby if he did get hit by that Lunar Flare. And these minions still continuing to get their value. Sport Belly going to try to clean them up. Snow poking in, but the Hydralisk is still a huge threat. Even with the heals there from Tyrande, I mean, Snow's taking a lot of damage. The self-heal being activated as well, but they do manage to take control of that top shrine. Bottom shrine, ADRD battling Mene for it. He does need to leave. He's low on mana. The Hammer of Justice connecting, but he should have Dimensional Warp or shields or something. No, just barely. Oh my god. Just kidding. Good night, ADRD. Get bodied in that instance. All right, Wubby doing what Zagara does best, continuing to be a pest here in the top lane, especially with Quacknix nearby. Both shrines under control here by Fanatic. Just the rotations have been on point, and that Zagara solo lane has been so very strong throughout this game. A beautiful stun there onto Shiter. A lot of damage going up. The heals from Sport Billy will be enough to get Shiter out of this barely, but the wave might come out. Oh, beautiful Frostbolt, knowing that was his only way to survive. Jaina does slip away. Thrall trying to keep this lane intact, but the tower has just fallen. Still no ammo on this other tower, and Quacknix is just always kind of lurking in the shadows. If Snow ever goes for this attack on Wubby, which looks so very juicy and appealing in a lot of situations, Murden is going to be in his face in an instant. Sentinel going out, revealing the location of Smexy style. Notice this is the Empower Pierce build. This is the full support Tyrande build, even though we have Tassadar as well, but it's getting more and more popularity as time goes on. It's just a really, really strong style of Tyrande, very common in the current meta. Also notice this dragon has just been poking safely, got both the towers, doesn't want to stand up there in the front, taking all the damage. 15 seconds remaining, going to clean up this wave and then go find more towers to push down. I would go to, he might want to go to top, but no, these towers are already dead. Zagara has been too proficient up there. And this big punt on BKB behind enemy lines. Oh my goodness. Wow. Mene flying in. He throws down his Thunder Rod, and that will be another kill. I have to watch that again because that is such an uncommon thing to see happen, especially on a Johanna. Iron Skin on cooldown gets punted behind the tower. BKB, noticing that there's too many heroes down here, can't go down, even though he's in the bottom portion, has to walk through the keep and the towers and take way too much damage. Falsa just flying in and getting a kill. Wow, the plays by Breeze, absolutely beautiful in that instance. Right now, we do see our red team, Sandwich Monkeys, trying to regain some composure, trying to regain some presence. Level 10 has been reached with Mighty Gust Avatar, Maw, Divine Shield, and Leorc is considering between March and Entomb. Not sure what he'll go for in this game. So they grab the Giants and they just need to soak for 10. We don't see any damage really being done to any of the forts. They did lose a lot of towers, but their forts remaining strong at this moment. And Breeze is going in. Entomb connecting on Thrall. Everything is being thrown out, and the self-sustain is not going to get you out of that. What an excellent play by Breeze. Really just going in there. He has Hardened Bones and he's got Ghastly Reach. So the Skeletal Swing has the extra proficiency, but he just got that last-minute corner with Entomb. Really aggressive Leorc plays. I absolutely love it. But the fight back is here. BKB in the front line. Lunar Flare not going to end up connecting as the Wraith Walk is more than enough for him to escape. Tassadar all alone. Mene making his way up. Smexy style with the Hammer of Justice. There we see the Hammerang going out, but ADRD throws Force Wall, Shadowstalk, and Shields going out to try to sustain, but still ADRD took so much damage. Leoric will just walk away in his ghastly form. In the top lane, the Maw connecting on 2 targets. Right now, Fanatic in control, but level 10 heroics can make a big difference at this point. Thrall now has Sundering. He really has that big engage that he's going to need for a lot of these instances. And look at this style here for Condemn. Knight takes pawn, Eternal Retaliation, and Conviction with Blessed Shield. This is a very close the gap style Johanna. Get in and lock you down. Land that beautiful Force Wall with Sundering. So this is all about super, super powerful initiations. Jaina AoE, Tassadar AoE. It's a really, really cool style, and it's definitely like more of a late game style. Now that they have 10, what they're looking to do in the late game is definitely going to fulfill themselves much better. Lunar Flare does connect on Uther. He's in a bad spot with that Water Ellie. He's forced to use that Divine Shield. Body blocks. Are they enough? Condemn would be needed. Goes out just as the Mighty Gust pushes him away. Now they have to turn their focus. Uther is very low, but he was able to tap the well. Leorc taking a lot of damage. Lunar Flare predicting where he's going to end his path and successfully landing, but still no kills picked up. All things considered, a lot of heroics were used on either side in order for that fight to happen as it did, but no one ended up dying. Mercenary camp got blown up here in the bottom lane, and it looks like Sandwich Monkeys are trying to push down this bottom fort. This is slightly risky, but they do have the support here. Jaina pretty low on mana, will back away. She did go for Snowstorm, which is quite interesting. And like we said, it's all about locking them into a close corridor, and having the additional radius here on Snowstorm is going to be crucial for a lot of moments. We've already seen it be rather proficient in a lot of situations, but this is a very specifically tuned build, and we haven't really seen it fulfill, like, you know, that ultimate power yet. They haven't picked up a single kill, and Venom often helps with those kills. And now we see the Entomb being used. Mighty Gust to push the rest of the team away. BKB has that self-sustain. Can he walk away? Beautiful Force Wall, and BKB survives. That was a beautiful initiation, trying to seclude the lone hero Johanna, but Johanna probably has the best self-sustain in the entire game when it comes to just Iron Skin and such her massive health pool. Then you saw the shields of Tassadar and the Force Wall and shields of or Shadowstar going out from Tyrande to keep him alive. But all at the end of the day, it is going to be a dragon picked up here. The initiation, the force there of blowing up, almost blowing a BKB, bought them enough time to grab that bottom shrine. They already had Zagara taking the top shrine, and now we have another dragon here for Fnatic, looking very strong in the early half of the game. Mene having to back away with the dragon condemned, just being annoying at this point. And then just shining her flashlight. BKB diving forward towards Quacknix. Dwarf Toss has been used, and Breeze makes his way down here. So now we've got a dragon, which is basically a tank, 2 tanks, and then Uther, who is like a support tank down here. Going to be very hard to find a kill. Thrall still battling Zagara, but keeping his fort alive. This is crucial. He's done a great job denying Zagara that safe poke and realizing the rotation. Very good, you know, just game sense and map awareness as to what's going on, backing away when the team rotates up. Dragon lone pushing in the bottom. Mene needs to be very careful. Mighty Gust does go out, and he's just going to fly to safety. Lunar Flare almost connecting. BKB with the Blessed Shield condemned combo, trying to flank forward. He's going to use everything he has to blow up Falstad. Top 4 did end up going down, and Dragon expired. They managed to pick up the kill. Beautifully done here by Sandwich Monkey. BKB, just beautiful rotation, landing that blessed shield. That kill buys them a lot of room they need. They're down more than a level at this point in time, and Thrall gets hit by the Maw. This is a rough spot. Is Shadow Stalk available? It is. Might need to use it immediately. Not. Oh, they do try to do it, but it's too little, too late. Thrall gets blown up immediately. ADRD couldn't even cast a shield on there. Good attempt from the supports here, but not going to be enough to get Thrall out of this moment. All right now we see these Giants being picked up, starting to do a lot. And let's just get an update here on the stats. So Thrall has been playing Defend Zagara most of this game, and his build is about blow up, but his build is something that scales really late game. So the fact that Thrall has been sitting in a lane defending Zagara means his season marksman stacks are going up significantly. He's not running around, he's not missing soak on minions, he's constantly getting those minion kills so that his auto attacks are getting more and more powerful. And he's okay with this. He's well aware of what's happening. He just picked up Giant Killer. That's going to give him a lot more damage, especially versus this multiple tank style team where you've got Uther, Leoric, Muradin all having big health pools. He's going to hit them very hard. He's going to be great versus the squishier heroes Zagara and Falstad as well. And when he gets 16, then his true power is really going to be shown off once he picks up Tempest Fury. So just getting back into the game. Yes, Thrall hasn't really done anything interesting so far in this game, but he's really playing for the late game with this burst style. And late game kills, well, they are far more impactful than anything else. So far, it's just 1 to 5 in terms of kills. That one death on Mene is the only one we've seen after he expired from the dragon. But they're not that far behind. They've only lost a single fort after being subject to fighting multiple dragons. And they're doing a good job just kind of maintaining a strong presence on the map at all times. Quacknick's not able to stop this bruiser. Let's hide this massive talent list. And we see the Giants picked up here by Mene. So Giants will walk down bottom. Knights going top. Looks like we see Quacknick's and Wubby planning on cleaning this up. Wubby just kind of replanting his creep at this moment to regain some control of the battleground. And we do see the bottom lane is being pushed out by BKB, ADRD, and Sport Billy, just taking care of these camps. Look how quickly he can just condemn BKB, just throwing out those abilities left and right with Burning Rage. I mean, the theme of this is AoE, condemn, paired with a full Sentinel build. The Sentinel with Empower, Pierce, and then Ranger at 16 hits not only really hard, but resets, like really reduces your cooldown. So if you can pull them all into condemn, you can have these bigger blizzards where you're crashing down, hitting several targets. You're condemning as frequently as humanly possible, force walling, locking them into place. It's a really cool style here, but we're gonna have to see if it's actually gonna pay off. Another dragon picked up. Sentinel just not available, even with Pierce not off cooldown to stop Quacknick's from getting into yet another Dragon Knight here in this game, but 16 is around the corner. We see BKB just trying to soak the top lane, pick that up. Oh, they once again do their trick. They use the Entomb with Mighty Gust pushing the rest of the team away, and then they maw 3 members at once. BKB coming down, Blessed Shield to buy the time that they need, but Jaina does end up collapsing. That is the bulk of their damage, and without Jaina, it's going to be super hard for them to mount a strong defense here. Sentinel, level 16 has been reached, will connect on many. You can see the huge damage that Sentinel now does with Ranger, especially that far away. It gets stronger the farther it travels. So really nicely done here. Overall by Fanatic. I mean, they just got the kill they needed. That trick has been working left and right. You entomb a single target, and then you Mighty Gust the rest of the team away. If you're ever caught out of position by Leoric, it is going to be lights out, even with Ice Block and Shadow Stalk. But I gotta hand it to BKB. We saw a 3-man maul, which looked like a great initiation, but his Blessed Shield and Condemn bought the team plentiful time to stay alive, other than the Jaina in that instance, and now they can continue to try to defend this dragon. Only 2 seconds remaining, so it's not gonna really get anything done. Maybe they'll take out these towers after the fact. Breeze going forward, Blizzard raining down, doing a lot of damage, so the towers will not end up falling. Dragon has expired down here in the bottom. Quacknick's gonna get hit by that Sentinel at the last moment, and as he was trying to mount, but he hadn't mounted yet, so he's just going to wait here. They want to pick up this giant camp, maintain some pressure in the bottom, maybe try to force a rotation, and they do have a huge level lead. 19 to 16, just about 17 here for Sandwich Monkey. They need to make something happen. The Giants picked up very quickly and efficiently by Fnatic, and they're just maintaining that presence. BKB with the Condemn going in, Mighty Gust for the disengage. We see ADRD and Snow are looking to potentially rotate around for a big flank. Nice attempt there, but after that Mighty Gust goes out, there is no reason to continue that pursuit. again, structurally very much in favor of Fnatic. They're really sitting on all of their forts at this point in time. All 3 lanes standing strong, and Jaina is going to look to just push out this top lane with their team. Looking at the damage once again, Thrall, he's doing good, right? 15,000 hero damage, considering he's been doing so much lane clear. He's still sitting pretty even with Jaina, who's got that crazy AoE, and let's actually just check that out. I was talking about stats, and we saw a takedown happen, so I'd like to check out this scenario a little bit better. So we see the team cleaning up the creep. Quacknix is scoping this out, realizes that there's multiple people there, but doesn't realize how many. We saw the wolf go out, Blessed Shield goes out, both miss, but it's the force wall that secures the kill for them ultimately. So wolves, shields, oh my, no, it's all about the force walls, the OP Protoss abilities to pick up that kill. That's 53 more seconds before Murden's back up. So this is a huge window for them to make something happen, and they need to. 20 is around the corner. Sandwich Monkey wants to try to get staggered deaths. They find Breeze all alone. Leoric is one of the harder targets to kill, predicting his path. They even use Mighty Gust to disengage. We're not going to see the Lunar Flare connect this time around, and it's once again a job of cleaning up the mercenary camps that have been picked up left and right. So this constant need to defend is really buying Fnatic a lot of space. They're going to look to grab another mercenary camp to maintain this presence, but this mercenary camp picked up down here in the bottom lane by Sandwich Monkey is going to buy them a lot of time as well. Problem being, level 20 has just been picked up. Storm Talents, we see Hardened Shield, Epic Mount. Falsehood's already been very slippery, going to be even harder to kill now. Bolts of the Storm, Redemption. Uther's going to be alive always. Leoric, their sustain just got ridiculous. So things just got a lot harder for Sandwich Monkey, but they managed to get that pick off on Murden. He's back alive now. They have control of the bottom lane. They finally took out a fort, so their experience is catching up slowly but surely. Almost level 19. They've narrowed their disadvantage to just about 1 level. Oh my goodness! The flashlight picks up the kill, an unnecessary sundering, but that insurance policy is well worth it. You gotta pay those bills just to make sure you're covered in the long run, and that's exactly the knowledge there, or the opinion of Snow in that moment. Once again, the control kind of being conceded here in the middle, but the Sentinel this time is stalling out some time, looking for the camp. They're not going to deny the dragon. They're so passive when it comes to fighting over the dragon, even though they have a 4v5 advantage. I don't really know if I agree with that in that moment. They bought time with the Sentinel. They just didn't want to dive into a close quarters fight where they could be subject to the Mighty Gust being a problem, even though Entomb wasn't a threat in that moment. Sandwich Monkey playing very defensively. But the good thing is they've got the Mercs pushed out that bottom lane. Knights in the top lane, so they do have an advantage. If this fight is drawn out, as long as they don't lose the keep, it will be favorable. A big initiation forcing out that Mighty Gust, though. So disengage. Mighty Gust was used. Force Wall used as well. Shorter cooldown on Force Wall. We see that Water Elemental summoned here. Lunar Flare connecting on Quacknix, and the Dragon is just getting blown up so very quickly, but it is still standing strong. About 7% of its health remaining. Leoric getting on out of there, and we see that Sandwich Monkey is chasing them down. Force Wall not quite initiating what it wants to do. The Condemn pulling them into the Blizzard, but still not enough damage applied to make anyone weak. Bolt of the Storm has to be used by Jaina. Nice disengage. We see the Sentinel connecting on 2 members, really just revealing them and reducing the cooldowns on Tyrande. She's going to have Shadowstalk readily available if they do need it in a battle. Cooldowns. Blessed Shield, 20 more seconds. And only 3 more seconds for Entomb. Then everything is ready. So these very low cooldown heroics making these fights happen in quick succession, but Smix is out with the Force Wall, body blocks left and right, the Mighty Gust and Divine Shield, will it get him out of this? Lunar Flare connects at the last moment, and the Sundering picks up the kill. Beautiful play here. Quacknix is far forward right now. He might have Dwarf Toss available, but it is still no support. Redemption is available on Uther. He'll be back up. The heals from his Ghost Form are nice, and he is back in action. That self-sustained, the huge survivability team here of Fnatic working out. Jaina caught out of position, taking a ton of damage. Blizzard raining down. Does he get this Ice Block at the last moment? Entomb on the other side. Jaina will end up falling, and that is a huge 1-for-1 trade, but unfortunately Redemption makes it a far favorable trade here for Fnatic. Other lanes, we see that the Knights weren't able to get through this fort here in the top lane at all. They really didn't do much, but they kept the lane pushed out at least. Bottom lane out of ammunition. That tower could fall if it continues at this pace of things, and this mid keep is completely and utterly under siege here. Fnatic looking very strong here, but level 20 has been reached in the late portions of this game by Sandwich Monkey Keep gonna end up going down, but do they trade out Leoric? No, just barely surviving. Sentinel flying out there. They dodge both of it, even with Ranger, the increased width. Not enough, but the Shadow Stalking giving him that movement speed to close the gap. Murden gonna end up falling. Beautiful Force Wall. Lunar Flare connects. Where's the stun? Mene, no, able to get away, but Condemn pulling in both Zagara and Smixicel. The beautiful peel there with the Entomb, but no, it's Uther that's locked down, and he doesn't have redemption this time around. So with the increased approach there, with Force Wall and the movement speed of Shadowstalk at level 20, utilizing Hunter's swiftness, they're able to get a beautiful engage and turn that around, picking up 2 kills for 1 after just losing Jaina. That late game engage was absolutely beautiful. We see Mene flying in. Snow found all alone. 3 targets on 1. BKB gonna get in there with the blinds. Blessed shield to peel for him. Snow slips away. The shields from ADRD were sufficient. We see Jaina back in action, looking to make something happen, but no, they're really just gonna peel them away. They managed to get Snow out, and that is a win in itself. Bottom lane, bottom shrine under control here by Sandwich Monkey. Top shrine currently being controlled by the blue team. And BKB just going to push out this lane. Looking at the stats, once again, Thrall, he has taken his title. 44,000 damage. He does have that sufficient blow up with this auto attack style build, and he is looking phenomenal with it so far. ADRD in the front line just scouting. We does get the Force Wall on Breeze. Breeze does not have his heroic ability available, but Mene could use that Mighty Gust to disengage, so they realize it's a little bit too risky. Looking for a Wubby here in the bottom. The Dragon is available. Bolt of the Storm used by our Jaina player, and it's going to be a beautiful blow up onto Wubby. Snow blows him up like he's nothing. A Dragon picked up for the first time of this game by Team Sandwich Monkey, and they are looking so much better in the late game. That beautiful initiation by Thrall onto Zagara, making her mincemeat, and the Sentinel will connect on Breeze. They have eyes on all 4 remaining members, and this is a 5v4 for 44 seconds with a full health Dragonite that has more than a minute remaining on its health pool. We see the Entomb being used, but what? I have never seen such a thing. The Force Wall to deny them from going into the Entomb to try to attack Sport Billy. ADRD, you are a mad genius. They're going in. Quacknix is taking a lot of damage. This bottom keep is going to take a lot itself. It will definitely fall to this dragon at this pace. Mighty Gust will not be available for another 10 seconds, so goodbye, keep. BKB in the front line, getting all those heals. The double support really paying off. Right now, Lunar Flare just thrown out in the fact that in the attempt that Mene would go left, and they're putting their focus onto the core. All 5 members powering through this health pool. They lost the entire half of the game. At one point, they were down a full 3 levels, but this late game Thrall does so much damage. The double support, the AoE style, the lockdown, the approach, it paid off in the end, and gee. That was a game. That was a hell of a game, boys. Yeah, so, I mean, at the end of the day, we can see Thrall. He actually topped damage. This is the auto tech burst style. So even though he spent the entire first half of the game just sitting there in the top lane, just kind of patiently soaking and trying to keep Zagara at bay the best he could, even though he was losing the lane, he knew it was worth it in the end, right? He's probably the best one to be soaking alone because he's going to get safe stacks consistently versus Zagara. His auto attacks from Seasoned Marksman continued to get more and more overpowered, and you know, he maintained the lane well enough. They didn't lose that fort for a very long time. Zagara took her a long time to even get to the towers. So job well done when it boiled down to it, and when it came to the late game, he knew his moments. He would snap call that Sundering, dive in on the target, pop the Envenom, and that target would die so ridiculously quickly. We even saw Zagara bolt of the storm away from Thrall in that moment. But between the Chain Lightning and the Envenom, there was no getting away from him, and she was just mincemeat. She was just absolutely obliterated. So that is our auto attack style Thrall. What an awesome game that was. I mean, a really, really cool draft in general by Sandwich Monkey versus Fanatic. Obviously, I think that's kind of an upset, Fanatic being the DreamHack champions. Sandwich Monkey has a lot of really talented players, but that was a really cool game. So, of course, that was Enter the Storm EU qualifier number, I don't know which number it was. It's part of the Enter Storm 4. It was the most recent EU qualifier with Fanatic versus Sandwich Monkey. And if you wanted to check out those actual games, the VODs exist on youtube.com/ it's either Caldor or Caldor TV. I always forget because it's YouTube and it's Twitch are different. I think it's Caldor TV for his YouTube. All the tournament VODs exist there. EnterTheStorm.gg is the official website for this tournament, in which we're using the VODs for today. And we actually have another VOD for the North America side of things, where we're going to see a different style Thrall. Now, we already talked about this at the start of the stream. This is going to be the mid-range Thrall. This is a little bit more sustained, a little bit less run in there and blow up a target, and it's a little bit more about being it's kind of slightly more akin to what Illidan is, where it's very you're in the fight a lot longer and able to do a lot of damage during that time, and it does scale very, very well in the late game. Thrall has a great early game, a kind of weaker mid game than some heroes, and then a phenomenal late game. So let's get this replay ready. Got to find the right one. I downloaded a bunch of them and checked them out, and yes, so this is going to be Murlocs versus Elevate. And just update my overlay real quick. And let's boot this bad boy up. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Second replay. No Earthquake. I'm sorry. Earthquake is a subpar heroic. When you consider a massive AoE of 1.5 second stun, it's kind of hard to pass that up. Earthquake is really fun, and I talked about this earlier. The level 20 talent, where that gives you all the shields, is really good. It is really good. But compared to Sundering, it really just kind of lacks in comparison. Let us load into our second replay of this event. Murlocs Geniuses versus Team Elevate. So obviously, as always, my overlay is very much wrong. Let's swap that and take a look at our composition. So our Thrall team, running with Thrall, Karazim, so very frontline heavy in that regard. We're seeing Killik, Hakfu, and then Johanna. Hey, guess what? Johanna, Thrall, they pair pretty well together. That's what we're seeing today. Both games, we see them as a pair. Of course, Johanna's just great in the front line. She can give a lot of utility and lockdown to assist Thrall in doing all of his great damage, and they just pair very nicely. On the other side, we have Uther, Kerrigan, Muradin, Kael'thas, and Jaina, so double mage. Definitely a case in a lot of situations where you might consider Spell Shield, but that will not be the case in this game. And yeah, we're just going to check this game on out. So immediately, 4-man rotation into the top lane. Kerrigan diving in there, but missing her combo. And this is a really scary combo. Faye has Gravity Lapse. Mad Timmy has Hammer of Justice, and Kerrigan's got the full combo. Murr didn't even come up here with the Storm Bolt. All 5 members in the top lane looking for a kill. Boss Voss is going to take a lot of damage, but no kill will be received. A lot of soak missed in this mid lane, but a lot of soak missed here in the bottom lane. Nesper even poking away at that tower a little bit. Just throwing out a Chain Lightning for good measure. Just saying, you know what? I hate that tower. Yeah. Interesting decision, considering that Nesper went for Rolling Thunder. And you get the additional range, which is nice, but you're not going to be able to get any mana restoration on a tower that you can't hit. So still interesting. He just wants to poke rather efficiently, and having this lane to himself, he's making a case for it. I mean, this whole wall, the Chain Lightning is just traveling down it. And although he's burning through his mana relatively well, he is adamant about this style of play. Getting that one tower can grant you a nice advantage. Yes, one member did end up dying. We saw the death on Zagara here on the top, so they were successful in a rotation. But Nesper is just the Pokemaster. Pokemon Master? No, Pokemaster. He is poking, and keeping Mad Timmy at bay. Now, this is a game where Zagara was on the opposing team last time, and Zagara is the ultimate solo laner, but we're seeing a very heavy push, and then Thrall's just holding his lane. So Zagara, Sylvanas, they're just gonna look to push as hard as humanly possible versus Murlocs, and that's a threat that's gonna force a lot of presence here in the top. That's why they put Mad Timmy lone against Nesper, but Nesper has just been poking consistently with the Chain Lightning, gonna try to restore some. You see that little orange? That means you can get mana. You can get 30 mana back if you poke those 3 targets. You see that little, you just got to look for the little orange glow and try to not kill your targets with Chain Lightning if at all possible, because then you're not going to be able to get your mana back. So it's just trying to restore some mana. Once again, just want to smack those little orange dudes. Nope, he wants to smack Mad Timmy even more. All right, and the poke continues. This tower lost about half its health. No kills picked up in some time, but we do see this wall has taken a fair amount of damage. The first curse of the game spawning here in the top of the map, and Thrall probably will not rotate whatsoever, which means that there will be no support here in the top on the side of Murloc Geniuses. So Thrall is keeping Uther busy, forcing him to soak because that's where he was already positioned. The full combo there onto Zagara will blow Zagara up. Hakfu goes down very quickly. So the 4v4 in favor of the blow-up style. I mean, so many stuns available, and Zagara's she has a big butt, guys. She has a massive booty, and it is very easy to hit her and lock her down. So she has no escape. So she should always be that target, if at all possible, for a team with a lot of lockdown like this. Well done by them. Boss Floss considering trying to channel the tribute, realizing it's not going to happen. He's just going to stall with his flashlight, not even having to use it, just his presence enough to stall. But Nesper just being continuously obnoxious here in the bottom lane, pushing as often as he can and keeping these towers low on ammunition. Another kill picked up here in the top. This time it's Johanna that ended up falling, and that will be a tribute. So this split push is working out decently for Nesper. They did get a few towers, but they are very much behind in experience since they've lost 3 heroes, and they're now down a tribute as well. Murlocs with a stronger start to this game so far. And although this isn't a seasoned marksman Thrall, he's going to scale very well when it comes to 7, 13, and 16 talents. And it's really about having Sundering. I mean, that's such a strong ability. Even diving forward. I mean, notice Nesper hasn't tapped well at all yet this game. He's just been consistently poking. He's been maintaining his manage sufficiently with that level 1 talent by smacking these minions with the orange glow on them, even though not even doing it as efficiently as possible. He'll get there. There he goes. Nice. Mana back. Gets the orb as well. And he's got the trait. I mean, Frostwolf Resilience makes him rather resilient. So Mad Timmy has been keeping this lane alive, but they have sustained a fair bit of damage, and he's continuing to poke with this earth, the lightning. Chain lightning at that. All right, top lane, a lot of risks, a lot of threats that exist. Equinox actually going around the backside. Hawkfood realizes this is the case. Combo will be juked. Nicely done. Basic's gonna actually just come down here, make sure everything's a-okay with the world, and then help push out these knights that are starting to wheel away in the mid lane. Thrall, who has not seen a single visitor other than Uther this game, will now have a lot of presence here in his bottom world, so he's finally going to leave his little chamber and start to fight over this tribute as it is within his realm. All members have left the top and mid lane, so we will have a 5v5. Slight experience lead for Murlocs Geniuses, currently sitting 8-2. Oh! Why did the chat just... Oh, there must have been a pause in the game, and... Okay, hello, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Go away, chat. I don't know how to hide you. Oh, yes! Combo going in, and an immediate blow up on Johanna. She is going to be dead. Murlocs with this blow up style, very strong so far in this game. Stuns, combos, explosions, oh my. And losing your warrior makes so you really don't have that safety. Thrall cannot go into the front line with that many stuns without Johanna in no world. There is no way in hell Thrall could go into that. So the team has to back up. Dana pushing out mid lane. They had the quicker rotation. Cathanlock greatly just clearing out that wave with Blizzard. And we actually see Jaina going for Snowstorm. It's actually really interesting seeing Snowstorm pick up popularity. For a very long time, we would either only see Arcane Intellect or Envenom, but Snowstorm's starting to grab a little bit of popularity as that increased radius can make a world of difference, especially when you think about heroes like Johanna to pull them in, Kerrigan with the Kerrigan combo. I mean, the second crash of the Blizzard is going to hit that much more efficiently. Killick needs to get out of there. Beautiful Frostwolf going out there from Nesper. Stormbolt through the wall, and the combo from Kerrigan through the wall as well. Nesper, the self-heal from his... Lightning going out and beautiful heals from Basix at the last moment. I cannot believe Nesper survived, but Zagara gets picked off in the top. So what looks like an impossible feat where they finally made something happen, they still end up on the negative side of things, and heroics have now been picked up. Very aggressive positioning here by Murlocs with a 2 tribute advantage and a heroic advantage. This is a scenario where you just need 10 desperately if you're capable of denying the enemy team from grabbing this next tribute, grabbing this curse. It might really be worth it to try to stall it out with Johanna, but it's hard. I mean, look at the positioning. Kerrigan in the bottom. Faye and Cathan Locke as the 2 mages. This is going to be a curse. There's no stopping it. It's not even worth trying. Just push out the best you can. This is a good response. They're going to get both towers here. That's a really nice win. And Sylvanas can mitigate this entire bottom lane's push. Johanna can do a pretty good job as well when it comes to just her kit in general. I mean, Night Take Spawn is very good for denying minions their push. And Zagara is the best solo laner in the game. So their positioning right now is pretty good. It looks like they actually abandoned this bottom lane. They're looking to just defend this mid fort. The huge response to mid. Maw hits absolutely, utterly nothing. And Kerrigan diving in. Combo juked as well. Nice Iron Skin there by Johanna. And Thrall just kind of backing away. Shields coming out. Heal damage going out from left and right. Zagara saying, do I want to save my top fort? Nope, it's already dead, Zagara. Get back into the fight. Even if you don't have your Maw, you need to help your team. Beautiful Sunray going out. The 7-sided strike doing a lot of damage. Faye, solo, does end up collapsing. This initiation, absolutely beautiful. They only get the 1 kill. The Condemn pulling them back in, trying to pick up another kill. Will it be enough? Nesper misses his Wolf. Not going to be able to pick up another kill with that miss, but still the initiation with the Sundering, secluding the team and then popping 7-sided strike with everything else to follow. Absolutely brilliant. I love that style of play. Sundering also pairs very, very well when it comes to Maw. Another strong combo. If they manage to land a big Maw, we're going to see absolutely phenomenal Sunderings as well. Oh, the combo connecting on both of them. Blizzard with the increased radius doing so much damage, and the Dwarf off enough to pick off Sylvanas. So huge plays here. This bottom fort now has 4 members of Murlocs Geniuses wailing away at it, and it will end up falling. That will be all 3 forts down. Sub 9 minutes here in this game in favor of Murlocs, and this is a rough spot to be in for Elevate. Boss now being worked on. They're going to chip away at its health, sustain this mid-range Thrall with Wind Shear and Sundering. It's going to start to scale much better at 13. This is when Thrall is going to have a lot more sustainability, and this is when you're going to see Thrall doing as much as he possibly can with Grace of Air, and of course, level 16 he gets Tempest Fury, so that's when he starts to hit a lot harder as well. Boss being attempted here. We see the boss in bottom. It will go straight back to the keep wall, so that is very, very good. We see knights that will go straight here to this keep as well. So although we're going to see a boss picked up in favor of our boys at Elevate, is it going to be enough? They need to mount the defense very quickly. They're all immediately hearthing back to base. Bottom wall will go down surely. We see living bombs and bosses slamming everything. These knights are also a bit of a problem. Not quite as much, but they are definitely going to soak up a lot of ammunition. They need to mount the defense. They need to mount it now. The Maw is juked again. Placed nicely to really separate the team though, so it is a victory as they do manage to pick up the 1 kill on Kerrigan. Worth it in the end, and they need to just put all their focus on defending this keep, which they will successfully do. Middle lane, we do see that final tower has been keeping this wave of minions back. The knights didn't get that same kind of damage they'd want due to that 1 tower surviving, so that is a huge benefit, and this top lane now has giants and the golem marching down it. We'll see a full defense out of Murloc. The big thing here though is the fact that they managed to defend their base rather quickly, while this boss is now pulling back the entire team, and we can finally see Elevate get themselves back onto the map. They're really going to finally grab themselves a tribute. They're the ones that are out. They've got their lanes pushed out decently. Like, this is fine here for Elevate, and they're going to try to peel this out, throwing out that shield. The Stormbolt not going to be able to get to Hakfu, who does manage to pick up the tribute, but now Boss Floss is really, really far forward, needs those heals. He does manage to get them. They managed to get him out of there, and 7-sided strike is doing a lot of damage to the team, but the Phoenix is a bit of a threat. Haunting Wave used just for an inch, but not enough to get away, and the Ring of Frost will pick up that kill on Sylvanas. Just that little stubby, the chode of a Haunting Wave that we just saw didn't really work out. Had a little bit more time to extend the range on it, and probably should have just used it a little bit further. A bit of a misclick activating the ability too early. In turn, the chode Haunting Wave cost him his life. Bottom keep, we can see half health right now. Top keep from the boss, not even touched yet. These towers both still standing. That's 1,300 experience they would desperately like to have, because they're about to be down 16 to 14. Both of these games, we've seen Thrall down, the Thrall team down in the early game. But Thrall's a hero that has a strong early game in a lot of situations, and a really, really strong late game when it comes to just the Wind Fury bursts that he has. So we're going to have to see if our Thrall here, in this case on Elevate, is able to turn it around. All right. pushing out the wave, staying as 5. This team, they do finally have a tribute on the board. Johanna gonna go the aggressive route. Nope, opting that it is too risky. Does have Spell Shield. We see Spell Shield here on Sylvanas and Spell Shield on Johanna, but Thrall didn't go for it. Even with the Jaina and the Kael'thas, they're saying, you know what, we don't need it. They're actually just going to forfeit this. And you know why? It's because of level 16. And this is the right call. It's not a fight where you can take a favorable win. You have Knights marching down this mid lane, and you have Giants available in the top. Push out the mid lane, and notice that they don't push out the mid lane here. This is where they were. They wait for the wave to push in so they're safe because they know they could be ambushed. They know exactly this could happen. So they're just waiting for these Knights to come to them. They have the Giants that will push out top, which is a huge, that wave is already like in their favor, the lane. And they're just waiting safely. Even if they lose these towers, it's 1,300 experience. It's a lot of experience to give up. But they're already behind, and they might as well not lose some heroes. All this experience they're getting right now from these minions is greatly helping them catch up to level 16. Sure, they're going to have to respond to these Giants down here in the bottom, but again, top lane is a nice little win for them for a short while. Yes, it will be responded to considering this tribute is right underneath it, but 16 is actually attainable at this point. They need to just, again, they can't really soak top safely because of how far it's pushed forward. They're just going to push out these mercs here in the bottom. They'll soak this lane mid, and then they'll get level 16. Sure, they're going to be down the tribute at this point, but they're going to be in a position to deny the next curse, as level 20 will be quite far off at that point in time. Ah, delicious water. Delicious, delicious water. All right, well, we see that the Berserk Camp was picked up, but knowing that this is likely the option that we're going for, the top lane is being chipped away at. Big problem here is this is their last tower defending their keeps, so all of their keeps are rather exposed. Another curse would be devastatingly scary, and these bosses also have crazy added value. This guy's up in 7 seconds. This guy's up in about 20 seconds. And in the event they're picked up, they need to be responded to much more quickly, as there's nothing really to stop them from slamming down your keeps rather quickly. This guy is now available, and we see this 5-man presence here in mid lane. Equinox just kind of scouting. I say Equinox and Equinox. I will never know the proper pronunciation, and even if I knew it, I probably would mess it up anyways. And he is now flanking into the backside, but not getting anything. Beautiful use of that 7-sided strike very early. Maw is never going to hit a target this game, but it at least forces Equinox back. It's like a mini force wall, and they managed to get the first kill. But Ring of Frost, oh, they managed to live through it, going into the center, and Jaina is now way too far forward. Beautiful fight here by Elevate. Mad Timmy found all alone, but the Flame Strike almost getting boss loss, not quite enough. Mad Timmy, he's going to have those mad jukes if he wants to get out of this one. Throwing out the heal, but the Wolf is too much, and Nesper blows him up. Oh my goodness. And suddenly we have a 3-0 in favor of Elevate here with one team fight. The Maw force wall plays, boys, actually worked out very well, forcing Kerrigan so far to the left. They covered so many options. Although it didn't hit Kerrigan, it forced her to the left side. Her retreat path was completely negated. Divine Shield had been used to keep her alive, but if she can't get back to Uther, she can't live. Just beautiful, beautiful usage. And it's just like a really cool thing. So many people think you have to use Maw to actually capture heroes in it. And it's great, right? If you can hit 3 people with Maw, and then you can land a Sundering after that, it's a beautiful combo. But knowing that they can just pick off Kerrigan and have that favorable start to the fight after she dove in is beautiful. Is this a replay or a live game? This is a replay from Enter the Storm, as it says in the bottom left corner of your screen. And we see the first boss was picked up here. That guy is already taking out these towers. That's a lot of experience. We're going to see the experience completely evened out due to this boss alone. And now they're picking up this other boss here on the left side, just chipping through the health pool of this team, of this golem, grabbing another boss. They can clean up that giant rather successfully, and they have a curse on top of it. So just like that, Elevate takes the reins of this game, or takes the reins of the bowl. What? I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. They're doing nice stuff right now. They've got this curse active across the map. The golem has full health, and they will be escorting it down to this bottom keep. Top keep, they have to be continuously worried about it. It's not going to be firing back. The minions only have 1 health, and it will push out, and it's already at half health. And, you know, even this mercenary camp, sure, it's buying them some leeway in the mid lane, but that's the least of the concerns here on the side of Elevate. They just want to push down these towers and set themselves up for that first level 20 and potentially take out the first keep of this game. All right, setting up. The boss has made its way to the keep. Curse active for another 20 seconds, and that is an eternity at this point. Bless Shield with the beautiful Sundering going out. We see the 7-sided strike used as well, and Maw connecting on Jaina, forcing her retreat. She just used Ice Block, and Chthon Lock will go down. Level 20 has been reached. The boss almost at full health. Faye very low, gets that heal from Mad Timmy in the backside, but it's just a little bit too late. The boss has already taken out the core's shields, and this core is falling so rapidly. With one good team fight late game, they're able to bring this all back. And Elevate, they take it. Now, with this more sustained build, it's not the bursty style Thrall. He still tops the charts of hero damage. He had this whole little brawl in the bottom where he was just trying to poke early game. But even with a different style, Thrall still has that crazy power in the late game. When you look at Grace of Air, when you look at Tempest Fury, the way that synergizes with Wind Fury paired with Wind Shear, it's just like, it's a much more sustainable Thrall. Every time you looked at Thrall, it's like, oh, he has full health. Oh, he has full health. Oh, Thrall has full health. Thrall is always living, and it's because Thrall's not diving in when he has to. He only really goes ham when he throws out his Sundering, and he uses his Sundering in very impactful moments, and you have to do that. You saw that Bless Shield come out at the end, hit 3 heroes. Sundering followed up. That's another 1.5 second stun on 3 heroes. Jaina Ice Block to try to survive this whole onslaught of damage, and Maw then secluded her and blew her up as well. Just really strong style of play. Johanna Thrall, like that, the Bless Shield Sundering combo is so freaking good. I love it. Oh, we should do an episode on Stitches, right, guys? Stitches wants to play. No, Stitches, go away. Wow. 2 very different builds. 2 very similar games when it comes to the Thrall team kind of struggling in the early game, but they just play safe and they sustain through as much damage as possible. And once they have level 10, once they have that Bless Shield Sundering combo, the Maw, all of these like really heavy control heroics in the team fights, they get a little bit more bold and they start to make the plays. And they come down from that deficit in experience. They take one team fight in the late game, and that's really all it takes in a lot of situations. And they managed to grab that curse with the boss timings. Like, it was so beautiful. And they took the game. Thrall boys, the 2 builds are here. You can screen cap this, remember it, write it down, whatever. And if I'm smart and intelligent, I will actually create the builds and post a link in the YouTube comment. And if I don't do it, please yell at me on YouTube. Also, leave in the comments any suggestions you would like to see for future episodes. I've got a few that are being worked on. They're a little bit more involved. We're one on mercenary camps for the 4 maps that I haven't done so far. And another, I'm starting to look into like doing episodes on drafting where I bring in pros for those episodes to talk about specific drafts from tournament matches they've already played in. Those are some things that I would like to look at and when to use which build. So if you're looking at a build on a enemy hero, or if you're looking at an enemy team that has a lot of squishies and you think you want to get that burst down, you might want to go for the auto attack style. The auto attack style is a little bit better on smaller maps, I would say. If you're looking at Dragonshire or Tomb of the Spider Queen, where you know you're going to be able to soak a lot of minions and really empower with Seasoned Marksman, empower your abilities, it's probably going to be the better option, right? This is when smaller, like closer together lanes, smaller maps, that build is really going to shine the most because it's about closing the gap and quickly killing someone. But on the larger maps, if you're playing on Battlefield of Eternity, Cursed Hollow, there's a larger calling for a little bit more of a sustained Thrall. And that's when I would say go for the mid-range Thrall because it's going to be more proficient in those instances, especially on Battlefield of Eternity. You might not always be soaking the lanes for Seasoned Marksman, so it might not get that same kind of value. Still can be very good in that situation. But both are viable on both maps. I'd say that's probably the best rule to follow when it comes to picking your build If it's very close lanes, go for auto attack. If it's a larger battleground, the lanes are more spread out. Blackheart's Battlefield, Cursed Hollow Garden. Might want to look at mid-range Thrall as the safer option to go for. Remember, you have a very strong early game at level 4. Thrall is very powerful. Try to get a lot of kills at that point, especially if you're looking for a rotation-style Thrall. But if you're put in a situation like in these two games where you're not the one roaming and you're just soaking your lane, then you might just want to kind of play that early game passively and wait for the late game when Thrall gets ridiculously strong and start shredding your opponents at 13 and 16 with all of those new talents for Wind Fury or Giant Killer, respectively. This has been the Daily Quest, episode number 29. You guys can send me replays. Educast is tomorrow, as this is a holiday week, and I will be gone for a full week due to Christmas and seeing my brother, who I haven't seen in 2 years. So be sure to send in any replays on. Just let me know your MMR. Let me know if this was Hero League or Quick Match, and shoot me a brief rundown of what heroes were played in that game. And I will check out your replay. I will be doing a few replays tomorrow for Educast, and then I will be away for a full week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe and follow, and GG's, everyone.